Fundraising: Practical Ideas to Help Nonprofit Organizations with Collecting Finances. Written by Mindy Baker. Narrated by Kristen S. Osborne. Introduction. Fundraising: Ideas for Fundraising. Fundraising can be quite the challenge when you don't know where to begin. What fundraisers will work for your group? How much profit will you make? How much will you have to invest? Here, we will give you some free ideas for fundraising for your fundraising efforts. It's not easy to come up with new and unique ways to fundraise so you don't wear out your welcome with your donors. If you have different and unique fundraisers, you can work multiple fundraisers at a time. It's easier to offer services or items that will benefit your donors. Think of things that will appeal to your contributors. That way they look forward and are willing to help out with your cause. One fundraising idea is a Clean Up Earth friendly fundraiser. Organize a community cleanup project. Great way to fundraise while sending a positive message. Get a group to solicit sponsors from family, friends, neighbors, co-workers, and others. Pledges are designed around a specific goal as to the number of pounds of trash collected, or number of bags of trash collected, or number of blocks, road miles are cleaned of debris. Fundraising ideas that won't cost you an arm and a leg if they're not successful is the key in raising the funds for your group. Sure, you could try selling candy, but everyone does it. What if you don't sell all the candy you have bought? Stick with a fundraising idea that will work for your group and that are low risk. No one knows your group like your group. Only you know what your group's talents and abilities are. One fundraising idea to raise money is a karaoke night fundraiser. All you need is a passionate group of American Idol wannabes. You can make it more profitable by asking the audience to donate money if the pastor or cheerleading coach will sing something. Get the basketball team to sing "We Are the Champions." Different organizations can pass the hat to sing as a group. Get a local business to donate prizes for best performance, funniest, etc. Maybe even most out-of-tune performer. Ask around your local music store to find someone to digitally record it and sell a DVD. Then you can raise even more money. Another great fundraising idea is a family portrait fundraiser. This is very popular with churches and women's groups. Each participant receives a free portrait for a donation to your fundraiser. Your fundraising group gets to keep the sitting fee. A professional photographer will come to your location with all backgrounds, lighting, and props. You just provide the location and sell the certificates for the free portrait. You could earn $2,000 in 2 weeks with this fundraiser. Fundraising with a family night is a great way to raise money for churches or school organizations. It is an inexpensive way to raise funds. You can organize a small movie night at your church or rec area. Just pick a good movie and pop in the DVD. Make sure there is someone popping popcorn. You can also get folks to make some homemade goodies to earn some extra funds. If you need to raise even more, then have a local theater help you out. Most theaters will work with groups to sponsor an event. Pre-arrange what the split of ticket sales and concession sales will be for your fundraiser. Oh, and here's a tip: pick an Oscar-winning movie. Everyone loves and needs food. These next ideas for fundraising will help your group enjoy a night out for dinner and raise money. There are restaurants that will help you in your fundraising efforts. Some of these companies are McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, and others. Who doesn't love pizza? Try a Pizza Hut fundraiser. This is an easy one. No money down, just pass out flyers to remind your supporters to order from Pizza Hut and turn their flyer in. Pizza Hut will donate 25% of the sales generated from the members of your organization. Another fundraising idea to raise funds is Talent Show Fundraiser. This is a fun one. Find out what talents are hidden in your community while raising funds. Organize a talent show filled with dancing, singing, comedy. Get a local recording studio to donate equipment. They will love the exposure. Make sure it comes with a sound man. Another way to raise money with not much investment, just charge admission with a snack bar full of great snacks that you can sell too. All of these ideas for fundraising will be fun and profitable for your fundraising group. See more ideas for fundraising here. Chapter 1. Fundraiser Idea. A fundraising consultant. There are times that you don't know what to do when you organize and manage your fundraiser idea to be successful. This is normal for most fundraising managers, usually when they have organized more fundraising programs in the past. In this situation, you need to consult professional help if you need new and unique ideas for your fundraiser. This way, you can make your fundraising efforts more profitable. If you are certain that you have already run out of fresh ideas for your fundraiser, you can hire a fundraising consultant that can provide you with a new and unique fundraiser idea. That person can help you out with your recent and future fundraising campaigns and events. You don't have to blame yourself for not coming up with a great idea. It happens to everybody, especially when they do it again and again. To resolve this problem, you need to ask for other people's help in order to start the ball rolling again. Remember to always go back to the basics. Going back to the basics helps you improve your experience in fundraising. You have to start from the beginning, and a fundraising consultant can help you along the way. This person will serve as your mentor, which will help you make the right decisions. The consultant will also teach you some things about fundraising that you don't even know, therefore improving your skills in organizing a fundraiser even more. Organizing your team is usually the first thing that you'll get from your fundraising consultant. The team that you'll organize must contain volunteers, staff members, and board of directors. These people mentioned are very vital in every fundraising project because they are the ones who will be running your fundraiser aside from you. Rearrange them if you already have one. This will help improve each and every one of their skills and capabilities in dealing with different fundraising responsibilities even further. Don't ever let them do the same task and responsibility over and over again. This will bore them and might eventually quit your fundraiser. Another thing you could learn from your consultant is how to improve the relationship between you and your team. Having a good relationship with your group is very important for your fundraiser, since this will build an atmosphere where your members are comfortable and able to work smoothly. This way, they will improve their performance while working, thus making it a good advantage for your fundraiser. It's not necessarily recommended to have new people every time you start a new fundraiser. You just have to improve the relationship between you and your current team. There is a good advantage for your fundraiser if you hire your own fundraising consultant, especially when organizing large fundraising events. This person will not only guide you through your fundraising efforts, but also learn important aspects from them regarding your fundraiser. Make sure you listen to every word your consultant is teaching to you, so you can be sure that you can once again reach fundraising success. Types of fundraisers. There are countless fundraisers available today. It is important to understand the different types of fundraisers if you want to be successful in your fundraising efforts. Elementary school fundraisers. The first fundraiser we will talk about is elementary school fundraisers. There are millions of dollars raised every year with elementary school fundraisers. Many groups, such as elementary schools, PTAs, PTOs, and other school groups have come to depend on great elementary school fundraising ideas to cover the rising list of things that have been cut from school budgets. Throughout the web, you will find countless lists of elementary school fundraisers. It is important for you to decide what is most important to your school when making this decision. Booster Club fundraising. Booster clubs, typically for high school sports teams, are comprised of parents who want to support their kids' sports program. One of the main duties of the Booster Club is to think of good fundraising ideas. There are many different Booster Club fundraisers that work well. It is important to check with your school to make sure you are following any fundraising guidelines set forth by the school. Daycare fundraising. Daycare fundraisers are a parent's initiation into the fundraising arena. In most cases, they have never done a fundraiser before. Some parents can get frustrated with daycare fundraising because in many cases they are already paying a significant amount of tuition for the daycare. It is easy for parents to feel they are being put out because they feel the tuition should cover the cost of daycare programs. With daycare fundraisers, obviously the parents will handle the fundraising efforts because the children are too young to do it themselves. Daycare fundraisers should be a way to get parents involved in the lives of their children while still serving to raise money for the cause. Art-based fundraisers are typically popular among daycares because the parents do not feel they are being asked to do much work. It is important not to turn parents off to fundraising with the daycare program. In many cases, this will be their first introduction to fundraising, and you do not want to leave a bad taste in their mouths for the process. As you can see, there are countless different programs to help raise money for your cause. Fundraising, the fun and excitement of it all. Need money and support? The best and most practical way is to get to fundraise. Fundraisers are profitable, fun, and well worth the trouble of organizing. You may be raising financial support for relief during a calamity or a tragedy, or the funds may be intended to support a particular organization. Nonetheless, a fundraising effort works just like any other fundraising activity, since it aims to collect money during donations, although usually in exchange for a particular service or product. Fundraising versus donation solicitation. Fundraiser events are organized by various groups and kinds of people and organizations, from multi-million-dollar companies to small nonprofit organizations, from ordinary individuals to people of power and influence. The idea here is that the revenue gained from the fundraising effort will not be used for personal gain. So why are fundraising events more preferred than donation solicitation? Many view donation solicitation as too aggressive. Also, contrary to what many may think, donation solicitation will take too much time and effort. A fundraising event is a one-time event. Soliciting donations, on the other hand, is a continuous process. Besides, how many donations will an organization need to receive in order to collect sufficient funds? Fundraising, a mutual benefit. The advantage of fundraising events is the exchange for the monetary support donors will give. The donors do not simply give their money to the fundraising event. They give it because they are expecting something in return, and what they will get depends on what type of fundraiser event an organization or individual plans to hold. For example, a popular fundraising event idea is the car wash fundraiser. People will give money to the fundraisers, and in turn, the fundraisers will wash the car of their donors. Other popular fundraising events include benefit dinners, benefit concerts, bake sales, auctions, and benefit sporting competitions. In all of these endeavors, the fundraisers provide something for the money they will receive. A popular form of fundraising done today is the televised fundraiser, where celebrities encourage viewers to phone in their donation pledges. Those who phoned in will then deposit their pledges in designated bank accounts. Making profit. Of course, the services or products given at fundraising events are more expensive if compared to their normal prices. This is expected and acceptable. After all, fundraiser events are held with the purpose to gain revenue in mind. Generally, fundraising events are not the best place to look for a bargain, although there are some exceptions, such as when the fundraising event is an auction or a bargain sale. Imagination, the key to fundraising success. Forming the fundraising activity into an event not only dramatically increases the revenue, it can also spread awareness and interest, which are both important if the fundraising event is done for a sports team or for a particular advocacy. Hence, many do not consider pre-order fundraising as a fundraising event, since it is merely an activity which is done to collect funds and not an actual event. Holding a fundraising event is definitely more exciting and more dynamic, and can obviously attract more supporters and donors. Door-to-door fundraisers may be effective, but it is bland and lifeless. Chapter 2. Easy fundraising ideas for profitable fundraisers. With the current economic climate, people don't have a lot of time to spend on fundraising. We all want fundraising ideas that are quick, easy, and effective. There are many fundraising ideas available to you. Right now is a great time to choose a fundraiser that doesn't require startup cost and one that will make your group, team, or club the money you need from fundraising. Some of the best easy fundraising ideas are the most simple. Back to basics. Have you considered a bake sale for your upcoming fundraiser? With news and the economy getting worse daily, a bake sale could be the perfect easy fundraising idea. People would love a pick-me-up right now with all of the bad news in the media. Why not meet these needs with your fundraiser and make people happy? By choosing a bake sale for your next fundraiser, you can start making money with very little startup cost. Brainstorm bake sale fundraising ideas to make the sale more creative. Create fun, unique cookie flavors. Add treats that people may not be able to buy in the store for your fundraiser. It is great to make your baked goods extra special so that your friends and family will not be able to resist your fundraising efforts. Tips for your easy bake sale fundraiser. 1. Make creative and beautiful treats that friends, neighbors, and business owners can't resist. 2. Have each group member commit to making and selling a certain amount of fundraising treats. 3. Brainstorm bake sale fundraising ideas with your group to take your fundraiser to the next level. Consider selling at local events, around a holiday like Easter or Mother's Day, to maximize your fundraising profits. 4. Pick your treats right. You are fundraising, but still want to offer a great value to your customers, supporters. Supporters expect to pay a little bit of a premium for fundraisers, but don't break the bank. Another easy fundraising idea that is slightly healthier, but just as fun, is a spinner's fundraiser. With no money up front, you can start this easy fundraiser that offers the best profit percentage available in the fundraising industry. Spinner's fundraisers are a fun, unique way to get your friends and family to donate to your group's fundraising efforts without spending a lot of money. Donors spin the spinner, which is like a game piece board, to determine an amount to donate to your group. In return for their fundraising donation, each donor gets a valuable sheet of coupons. This easy fundraising idea makes money for your group and puts coupons in the hands of your friends and family for savings on local restaurants and services. Best of all, this fundraiser can make as much money as your fundraising group desires. Spinners are the first reusable fundraiser, making them a cool green fundraising idea. Tips for your spinner's fundraiser. 1. Encourage each member of the group to commit to raising a certain amount of money during your fundraiser and give frequent updates on progress and success stories. 2. Run the spinner's fundraiser consecutively with a bake sale fundraiser so that you can increase your profits. Sell a cookie, have the donor spin, and donate for coupons too. 3. Fundraisers that have a deadline tend to do better as there is a sense of urgency for your group members to get it done. About 2 weeks of fundraising tends to be a good amount of time. In this tough economy, you can still take easy fundraising ideas and make them successful fundraisers. It will take more commitment and dedication from your team or group members, but you can still have a super profitable and fun fundraiser. Use caution for hoagie fundraisers. We know what it's like trying to sell something just to raise money for your organization. Today, most fundraising businesses send their catalogs of fundraising items right to the organization because they know the person in charge of the fundraiser just doesn't have time to locate quality fundraisers, so they will pick the easiest fundraiser they can with little or no work to get. But what they don't understand can actually hurt their repeat fundraiser, because it's just easier to remember the bad rather than the good for most anything. This is why quality is very important when running any fundraiser these days, especially a hoagie fundraiser. Your customer always appreciates value. These days, when it comes to acquiring additional income to support your organization with hoagie fundraising or other types of fundraising, most customers look at the value of the fundraiser item. The best way we can describe value is in this example below. Hoagie fundraiser example 1. Suppose you find a place that can make hoagie fundraisers for you for just $1, and you're told you can sell your hoagie fundraiser for at least $3. The hoagie fundraiser you use has the lowest grade of meats and cheeses in the hoagie. Lettuce is scarce. The bun is a 6-inch bun. We both can agree that if you are able to sell these low-grade hoagie fundraisers at $5 each, your profit margin is unbelievable. A few months pass by, and you decide to run another hoagie fundraiser. This time around, you have very few repeat customers to buy your hoagie fundraiser. You even decide to call a few customers to find out if they may be interested in your hoagie fundraiser event, but only to find out your hoagie fundraiser customer is not interested in your future hoagie fundraisers you may have. Above is a real example of what happened to a hoagie fundraiser. Hoagie fundraisers should be of the best quality as possible, mainly because hoagie fundraisers are served as a supplement for a family dinner. It's like going to a spaghetti dinner with your family, only to find out the dinner is actually warmed up, pre-canned spaghetti all in one. One must really give some thought to selling quality hoagie fundraisers, especially when food bought at fundraisers usually winds up on the family dinner table. If you supply quality, the rest is already sold. You'll have repeat customers over and over again, because the quality hoagie fundraiser is the best fundraiser of the majority in a family. Take the taste test. It's easy to be sold on the idea of a fundraiser, but have you ever asked to have some samples made? Tasting hoagie fundraiser samples can not only build your relationship with the hoagie fundraiser business you select, but it also will give you a good idea on the quality of the meats, cheeses, and bun that will be served to your customers' families. The same principle can be applied to any other kind of fundraiser as well. We can only assume your organization intends to be in business for years to come. We agree it may take extra work to find quality hoagie fundraisers or any kind of quality fundraiser, but the work will pay off in the long run, making your hoagie fundraiser a success every time. Selling quality hoagie fundraisers will develop repeat customers and can even grow over time. How to use the internet for group fundraising. In the last 4 years, the number of websites that help individuals design and implement their own group fundraising campaigns has exploded. Networks of friends, family, and activists can now raise money effectively and collectively for any number of causes. But with all the options available, sometimes it is difficult to know which platform to choose and how best to put it to use. This guide features 5 questions to ask yourself before starting a fundraising campaign, and 3 factors to consider when choosing a group fundraising platform. A new model for fundraising. The phenomenon goes by several names: viral fundraising, team fundraising, grassroots fundraising, group fundraising, and even network-centric fundraising. In each case, the concept is the same. An individual or group creates a page on a website and sets a fundraising goal on behalf of a non-profit organization or project. The initiator then emails friends and family requesting financial support for the cause. On occasion, friends and family are so enthusiastic that they forward the announcement to their individual networks. Sometimes news of the project reaches the blogosphere or catches the attention of a journalist. Suddenly, thousands of people are responding, and the fundraising goal is met in record time. Well, that's the best-case scenario. More often than not, close friends, family, and a few anonymous philanthropists come through with the cash needed to meet the fundraising goal. Group fundraising success stories can be found on most websites that provide the service. Here are links to a few collections: First Giving Storybook, Giving Meaning Successes. Click on the Successes tab. Fundable Recently Completed Group Actions. Reflecting the diverse interest of donors, viral fundraising delivers cash to initiatives as distinct as one-person independent projects and full-blown bingos, slang for big international non-governmental organizations. If you have friends, family, and a passion for a specific issue, then you're ready to start a group fundraising campaign. Starting a group fundraising campaign. Before initiating a fundraising campaign, there are 5 important questions you'll need to answer. What issue does your campaign target? Where is the money going to go? Who can you ask for financial support? When do you need to meet the fundraising goal? How are you going to convince people to support the campaign? Unfortunately, most network-centric fundraising websites offer limited support in helping individuals to respond to these questions. They provide the tools with the expectation that visitors will supply the vision. Selecting a fundraising website. Your responses to the Getting Started questions will probably influence your choice of a group fundraising website. Below are 3 factors you should think about when choosing one of the 9 websites mentioned in this guide. Factor 1. Registered nonprofit versus informal project. Most team fundraising websites are very selective in the organizations and projects you can raise money on behalf. They often limit the recipient list to registered nonprofit organizations. First Giving, Just Give, Network for Good, and WhatGoesAround.org, WGA, for example, use GuideStar's registry of 1,500,000 U.S.-based nonprofit organizations. All fundraising campaigns that make use of these 4 websites must target an organization that is represented in the GuideStar directory. GuideStar is an online service that displays the public records and contact information for all U.S.-based 501c3 organizations. Just Giving is the British sister company of First Giving, mentioned above. Their website uses the same technology as First Giving, but requires that individual campaigns target nonprofit organizations registered in the United Kingdom. Give Meaning, based in Vancouver, British Columbia, allows individual fundraisers to build a campaign on behalf of any registered U.S. or Canadian nonprofit organization. Give Meaning also offers personal support in formulating a fundraising campaign and selecting an organization. If you have identified the cause but are looking for a worthy organization, the staff at Give Meaning will help you identify a list of potential recipients. All of the websites mentioned so far are obliged to deliver funds to registered nonprofit organizations. Dropcash, Fundable.org, and Chipin permit users to raise money for any individual, group, company, or nonprofit organization. These sites do not automatically offer a tax receipt on monies collected. As a result, Dropcash, Fundable.org, and Chipin are ideal for raising money on behalf of an unincorporated individual do-gooder, a religious or church group that lacks 501c3 status, an initiative that does not have nonprofit certification, or an informal group of people working on an independent project. Chipin's checkout system, however, allows the campaign founder to customize the thank you message. This feature can be used to insert an organization's EIN number for tax deduction purposes. The resulting email receipts could serve as proof of a tax-deductible donation. Factor 2. How much are you willing to pay? The biggest drawback to online group fundraising is that the amount collected is usually subject to a 3% to 8% commission. Virtually all of the websites mentioned in this guide charge a commission for assessing their tools and for processing online donations. Give Meaning is an exception in this regard. The Vancouver-based foundation uses corporate sponsorship, banner advertising, to offset the cost associated with delivering funds to the recipient organizations and projects. As long as you're willing to accept a banner ad hovering above your personal fundraising page, Give Meaning offers a platform that ensures the maximum amount of cash reaches its target. All of Give Meaning's banner ads are screened to ensure that only ads for socially responsible companies appear on the site. Give Meaning also honors requests from campaign organizers to have certain ads blocked if there is an ethical conflict between the advertisement and the fundraising campaign. In some cases, however, the special features that come with a group fundraising platform can reduce the importance of the commission and processing fees. Factor 3. Special features. Every group fundraising campaign is unique. Sometimes the initiator requires sophisticated email support and tracking of all donations made. Other group fundraising campaigns call for bare-bones email support, but a speedy startup and checkout procedure. Chapter 3. 7 Steps to Your Fundraising Success. Fundraising has become an essential element to schools, scouts, sports, and cheerleading teams, youth sports leagues, and other community groups in both small towns and major urban areas. The need for fundraising has become of greater importance than ever before for a variety of needs ranging from playground equipment, uniforms, and trips, to primary funding to support and maintain many types of programs and curriculum. Fundraising used to be a means to offer support for supplemental programs or activities, but in today's world, fundraising is being depended on more and more for the survival and primary support for more and more groups, activities, events, and programs. The importance of fundraising in today's marketplace has created the need for stronger and more successful fundraising programs that can generate impact and results. Fundraising is no longer just a fun activity, but rather an entrepreneurial enterprise, a business. Parents, students, and community members are bombarded and approached with more fundraising solicitations than ever before. The one crucial element is to make sure your fundraising efforts do not get lost in the shuffle. You must make sure your fundraising campaigns are properly executed to position yourself to achieve the best results possible. The good news is that there are 7 important steps you can implement to help to ensure your fundraising success. 1. Create a good fundraising team. This is one of the first and most often overlooked aspects of a successful fundraiser. Your team is the heart and soul of your fundraiser. Even though it is difficult to get volunteers and quality people to be part of your fundraising team, one of the biggest mistakes that can be made is just accepting anyone onto your team. Seek people that are driven, motivated, and share your fundraising vision. Those who can attain their given goals. Confident self-starters who can take direction, yet be able to function and operate on their own. It is better to have a smaller team of like-minded and motivated members than to have a larger team with some weak links. Take the time to find the right people for your team. Talk to them, learn their interests, discover their strengths and weaknesses, and then put the best qualified person in their most appropriate position. Do your homework and make the effort, and you will find that this is time well spent as you are creating the strongest foundation possible for your fundraising abilities. 2. Selecting the right fundraiser. Equally as important as assembling the best fundraising team as possible is selecting the right and proper fundraiser itself. Factors such as the length of your campaign, the season or time frame of your campaign, the size of your committee or team, the amount expected to be raised, and your target market and demographics are just some of the key elements that should be considered to assist you to select the right fundraising program. Let your fundraiser stand out from the pack. The market is saturated with many of the same typical fundraisers, such as candy, candles, wrapping paper, cookie dough, discount cards, and so on. While some of these may have the potential to offer decent results, you may find your efforts are greatly improved and better accepted by your target audience by offering a different type of fundraiser. Custom fundraising products, live event and family entertainment fundraisers, and other unique fundraising ideas can assist you in offering that something different or special element that can allow your campaign to stand out and be better accepted and a welcomed relief from the typical standards. Explore your options and ideas. What programs really excite your team and can create excitement in your market? Take the time and effort to carefully examine these factors to select a winning fundraiser. 3. Plan your fundraising success. Many times the lack of proper planning is the reason behind a lack of expected results. Chart out your fundraiser from your first step through completion. By creating a plan to execute your fundraiser, you and your entire team will be able to see the big picture. Plan out all facets of your fundraiser, including staffing, dates, times, promotion, product distribution, ticket sales, accounting, meetings, and any other pertinent details that may be included in your overall plan. 4. Set your goals. Along with the proper planning of your fundraiser is the creation and execution of your goals. Creating a written set of goals allows you to see your starting point, where you are each step of the way, and where your final goals are at all times. Having these written goals also helps you keep your team invested and aware of their expectations, while also being a fantastic way to measure and track their results and progress. Your team will enjoy a great feeling of pride and accomplishment as each goal is reached during your campaign. There is no better feeling than to meet your expected goals and even surpassing them to achieve greater success. This also promotes team spirit and overall motivation of all of your team or committee members. 5. Manage your fundraising team. Once your team is in place, your plans and goals have been determined, it is crucial to properly manage your fundraising team. Make sure your leaders and team members are clear on their role and duties. Make sure they have the tools and materials to succeed. Identify any strengths and weaknesses that may exist. Tend to the weaknesses and play to your strengths. Who are your team's superstars? Who needs special attention and reinforcement, and perhaps personal motivation? What combinations of team members work well together and produce the best results? Managing your team while assisting and supporting your team leaders will put you on the fast track to your desired expectations. 6. Promote and spread the word. After all of the team, goals, and organizational efforts are in place, the priority is the continual promotion of your fundraising campaign. Your main objective is to make sure as much of your target audience as possible becomes aware of your fundraising program. Spread the word in any way you can, including as many methods and resources as possible. Although you must have a combination of promotional methods and techniques, the most beneficial is still word-of-mouth promotion. Let everyone you encounter be made aware of your fundraiser and the important cause or benefactor to your efforts. Promote the reason for your fundraiser and remind your target or potential customers that they are helping your cause and objective. People want to feel that they can help to make a difference. You will soon find the amount of promotion directly affects your final results, so promote, and promote even more. 7. Motivate your fundraising team. The importance of maintaining the proper focus and motivation is also very important to your fundraising success. Different people get bored or lose motivation at different levels. Stay on top of your team members and offer support and motivation to each member as needed. Acknowledge their successes and accomplishments. Remind them of your goals and reinforce their importance to your team's overall success. Avoid fundraising fatigue or burnout. Offer incentives and rewards to your team members for achievements. Maintain the spirit, attitude, and enthusiasm of your team members. The right positive attitude is infectious. Being aware of these factors should help you to keep everyone focused and on track to attain your desired results. By following these 7 steps, your fundraising campaign will be managed properly and positioned for optimum success. While these steps may appear to be a more business-like approach, this is how fundraisers must operate to attain your goals, succeed in today's potentially saturated market, and prevail even in difficult times. These steps work well with all styles of fundraisers and offer immediate and residual benefits. Using marketing techniques to increase your nonprofit fundraising efforts. Why it is important to increase the amount of exposure your fundraisers have, and also ways to go about increasing the visibility of your fundraiser. Fundraisers are an important part of any nonprofit organization's operations, and it is important to maximize how much a nonprofit can make off any given fundraiser. And it is important to maximize how much a nonprofit can make off of a given fundraiser. The reason it is important to increase awareness of your fundraiser is that the more people who hear about your fundraiser, the larger the potential number of customers to buy your fundraising items will be. Not only does this reduce the amount of money you ultimately make, but increased awareness of your fundraiser also increases awareness of your nonprofit organizations. This sounds and is simple, but a lot of nonprofit organizations who hold fundraisers miss this point and end up doing a lot more work for a smaller return. The first way to increase the visibility of your fundraiser is the simplest. Bring up the fundraiser in everyday conversations. Anytime you are talking to someone, bring the fundraiser up and let them know how they can contribute. As far as fundraising sales, this is the most effective method of increasing your fundraiser's visibility, as many of the people who hear about your fundraiser will actually buy your fundraising merchandise because they know you. The second way to increase the visibility of your fundraiser is to use social networking tools like Facebook and Twitter. Both of these can be valuable tools for your fundraiser. For Facebook, post frequent messages about your fundraising efforts and consider making a group event based on the fundraiser. Then, all you have to do is invite all the people you know to that group. Twitter also allows you to contact large groups of people about your fundraiser. Both of these tools allow you to reach out to people you do not see frequently. Make sure all of the people involved in the nonprofit fundraising efforts do the same. There is an increased effect. The more people involved with your fundraiser that use these social networking tools, the better your results will be. This can easily increase the number of people who know about your fundraiser and can be accomplished in a short amount of time. For Facebook, you can even invite all of the people on your friends list to join the group. This keeps them in the loop and makes them feel involved in some way in the fundraiser. This not only increases the visibility of your fundraiser, but because they feel involved, makes them more likely to buy whatever your fundraiser is selling. The third way to increase the visibility of your fundraiser is to have businesses in your area display posters, business cards, or flyers advertising your fundraiser. Many businesses look forward to helping nonprofits with their fundraisers, both directly and indirectly. Just design a flyer or poster that explains clearly who your nonprofit organization is and what your fundraiser is selling, along with contact information so that interested customers can get a hold of you in order to buy your fundraising merchandise. Then make a list of local businesses and contact them to see if they would be interested in helping out with your fundraiser. Customers who frequent businesses that allow the fundraiser advertisements will then know about it and be able to find out how they can support your nonprofit. This allows customers who may not know anyone in your nonprofit group to still take part in your fundraiser. Many people like to help local community nonprofit organizations, but do not know how to go about contacting them or when they are holding fundraisers. These are the 3 main do-it-yourself tips for nonprofit fundraising. Nothing replaces planning and hard work when it comes to fundraising, but proper marketing of your fundraiser is a big step towards increasing the amount of funds made for your nonprofit organization. Many third-party fundraising organizations are now starting to help in this aspect. Organizing a proper fundraising follow-up. After you have successfully finished your fundraiser, there are still certain things that you need to do other than wrapping up the entire operation. It is very important to always have a fundraising follow-up after every fundraising event, since you never know if you will be organizing a fundraiser in the future or not. This is very important, especially for organizers who wish to have a long career in fundraising. Even though you already successfully culminated your fundraiser, it is very important to always do an effective follow-up in your events. This means that you need to take down important notes on what made your fundraiser a success or a failure. Aside from this, you should also take time to thank and recognize all the people who made your fundraising event possible. Without your sponsors, customers, and supporters, your fundraising campaign would be a huge disaster, so always ensure that you recognize the contributions that they have given you. In doing a proper follow-up for your fundraiser, there are certain things that you need to do. First is to make sure that you have records in your previous fundraising campaign so that you will have a basis for your future fundraising events. This is highly recommended for organizers who wish to organize another fundraiser in the future, since this would give them a head start compared to their other competitors. Even though fundraising is intended for nonprofit purposes, there will be times when you would compete with other organizers in obtaining your customers' attention. That's why, if you have prior experience in handling fundraisers, you must always secure important records, such as financial statements, advertising strategies, and marketing tactics, so that you use them in the near future. Aside from this, you should also consider thanking and appreciating the help of your customers, supporters, and sponsors have given you. This is very important since this helps you gain their trust and cooperation in your future activities. Make sure to make a complete list of all the people who have helped you make the entire fundraising operation possible, since they deserve to be recognized. If possible, you can even organize a small gathering where you will be celebrating the success of your fundraiser, so that you can formally thank everybody for a job well done. Invite everyone involved in your fundraiser, especially your sponsors, since without them your fundraiser would not come into completion. You can even give them tokens of appreciation or certificates so that they would feel their importance in your fundraising events. Another way to thank them would be posting their names in your web page so that people would know those people who have contributed to the success of your fundraising campaign. In this way, you can be sure that they would help you again in your future fundraising projects. Having a proper fundraising follow-up is very important in any fundraiser. This would be the time when you will be having fun with your supporters and sponsors, as well as thanking everybody for all the help that they have contributed in your fundraiser. Chapter 4. Fundraiser Idea: How to Build the Best Volunteer Team. Even if you have the best fundraiser idea or not, you still need a team of volunteers to help you manage and operate your fundraiser and its events. Keep in mind that you have to limit the number of volunteers working for you, since not all people are capable of doing the tasks and responsibilities of your fundraising efforts, no matter how eager they are to help you. In this article, I will show you how to build the best volunteer team for your fundraising campaign. Having the best volunteer team provides the manpower necessary for your fundraising campaign and its events that will make your fundraiser idea a success. Since you can't manage and organize your fundraising campaign alone, recruiting people or fundraising volunteers is the best but time-consuming investment for your fundraiser. The first thing to do in building your own volunteer team is to create a list of people that you think are willing to give their effort and time to your cause as a volunteer. Through this, you can get started in recruiting your team of volunteers, since you already have a list of potential volunteers for your team. After you have made the list of potential volunteers, the next thing to do is to invite all of them for an orientation. During the orientation, you have to explain to them the purpose of your fundraising campaign and what is still needed to achieve fundraising success. Explain to them in full detail on how they can help in your fundraiser and who will benefit to your fundraiser. This part of recruitment is very important since it gives them the decision whether or not they'll join your fundraiser as a volunteer or not. Make sure that your fundraiser, especially its goals and objectives, are very appealing but not too much, so you can easily convince and encourage them to join your fundraiser without much expectations. During recruitment of your volunteers, it is recommended that you study each of their own capabilities as a person. Through this, you will have an idea on their capabilities once they join your fundraiser as a volunteer, and making sure that you have the best possible volunteers working for you and your fundraiser. Despite the large number of people who are willing to help you in your fundraiser, you have to make sure that they are also capable in handling the tasks and responsibilities in your fundraiser and its events. This is recommended so you can easily teach and train them all of the basic aspects of your fundraiser. You don't want to hire a volunteer that is willing to help you in your fundraiser or just wants to volunteer in a fundraiser because it's fun, but he or she is not capable of doing any of the tasks and responsibilities of your fundraiser. To prevent this from happening, you have to look for the best possible candidates to volunteer in your fundraiser so you can increase your chance in achieving fundraising success. Ultimate Guide to Nonprofit Fundraising. Nonprofit fundraising is a complicated topic and a critical function. Nonprofits are in a unique position from business in that they cannot price their products and services to, make a profit. Operating budgets must be conceived from other sources than program revenues. This is a guide focused on fundraising for nonprofits. It will discuss the following major topics. 1. Crafting a nonprofit fundraising strategy. 2. Optimizing your organization. 3. Kickstarting your donor development. 4. Developing your marketing campaign. 5. Leveraging grants and other funding opportunities. Before we begin, here is a brief background on funding. How are nonprofits funded? The following categories make up the bulk of funding for nonprofits. Fees for goods and services from private sources, This is driven largely by hospitals and higher education nonprofits who charge fees for services, tuition, etc. Fees for goods and services from government sources includes things like Medicare and Medicaid reimbursements. Government grants, cash awarded to organizations with varying stipulations attached. Private contributions, charitable donations, and grants from private individuals, corporations, etc. Investment income. Endowments make up a significant portion of income, especially among foundations. Where do donations come from? Private contributions make up the largest portion of non-program related revenue streams for nonprofits. While this represents enormous potential, it brings even more enormous challenges for nonprofits looking to focus marketing and fundraising strategies on specific channels. The need for personal touch with most individual donors makes it hard to scale funding strategies focused on individual donors. Craft the perfect nonprofit fundraising strategy. Any successful initiative requires a plan. To maximize your organization's potential, it is important to understand where you are today and define specific paths to where you need to be in the future. A useful strategic plan for your fundraising function will provide a sense of direction for your organization and outline measurable goals to assess progress. 1. Establish a vision. The first thing you want to do is create an ideal version of your organization. A bit of administrative work should also be done now, specifically setting a budget for how much you wish to spend on this nonprofit fundraising strategy and an implementation timeline that you wish to achieve your goals by. 2. Understand your current state. Describe your organization as it exists today. This will form the foundation for which your strategy will be executed against. You should take inventory of all the different funding sources you currently use and have used in the past. Try to rank and prioritize the effectiveness and quantity of funds raised from each one. Take note of what's worked in the past and what hasn't. Take an external perspective if possible. If you can afford to audit your organization, do it. If not, be as unbiased as possible in determining how effective your organization performs in this area, and compare it to other organizations. Use either current employees or colleagues from outside the organization to get a picture of how other nonprofits perform. Understand your strengths and weaknesses. If you are too overly funded by a specific source, let's say a specific government grant that comes in each year and funds 90% of your budget, you need to address this. Like any business overly concentrated on one customer, you run the risk of being shut down should the government grant stop. Don't limit yourself to single or few funding sources whenever possible. Make your organization invulnerable to things you can't control. 3. Envision your future state. Use the answers produced in your vision creation to help craft your future state. Where the vision phase is about creating conceptual ideals for what your organization should look like, this phase should be about quantifying them. Decide exactly what you want to concentrate on. If you decided that a focused nonprofit fundraising strategy was the way to go, make sure to document why it is the best course and what the benefits of this choice will be. The result of this phase should be a set of goals that you want your organization to achieve. 4. Perform a gap analysis. By quantifying your future state and documenting where you stand today, your next step is to perform a gap analysis. It is critical to understand where all the major gaps are in your organization. If you have 90% of your revenue coming from one government grant and your future state involves diversifying your revenue streams, then obviously here is a major gap in your strategy. Always know your organization's vulnerabilities. Prioritize what you think are the most critical gaps and areas that could produce the most impactful change if they are closed. 5. Connect the dots. The final step requires determining exactly what actions need to be done to achieve your desired state. Break up the goals into key initiatives. You should ideally come up with a list of projects that can be executed on, each with different rankings for cost, effort, time, and impact. Create a matrix that assesses each project against these 4 dimensions and rank the projects according to your priorities. If your strategy needs to be completed quickly with less regard to cost, then rank projects requiring less time higher. If you want the biggest impact of your initiatives, then rank those ones higher, with the understanding it might take longer and cost more than other projects. Always understand the project management triangle of cost versus scope versus time. Any strategic decision will be based on these 3 constraints. Any change to one constraint necessitates a change in the others, or else quality suffers. Be sure to get all the right stakeholders involved in this priority setting process to make sure your strategic alignment matches your organization's vision and your board's idea of what needs to be done. Optimize your organization for change. A common mistake among nonprofits is the lack of a single person who oversees the entire money function of the organization. It isn't enough to have an individual who manages only government contracts or only individual donors. You absolutely must have someone who oversees all cash flows into the organization. Development Director Office. To ensure you hire or promote from within the right candidate for the job, you must be able to offer enough of a salary to entice someone to stay and grow the organization. Check competitive rates of not only nonprofit development directors, but also nonprofit CFOs, for-profit CFOs, etc. It may be painful trying to come up with the money to pay someone to do this job, which is typically lower than executive director or other high-ranking positions in your organization, but it's worth it. You are paying for people who spend 100% of their time focused on money. And in a few years' time, they should be paying their own salaries with the work they've done to increase your organization's capacity. Build a business environment that enables development. Beyond just funding the salary of your rock star fundraiser, it is important to give this person authority over creating a team and office within your organization. By choosing the right person, you can ensure that they know exactly how many staff they need and what roles they need to hire to perform specific tasks, marketing plans, technology upgrades, cold calling, etc. Additionally, you must budget for costs like software, computer upgrades, marketing collateral, association dues, professional development, and so forth. You want to create an environment that enables development success. In this way, you help retain top talent that can execute on longer-term strategies that have the highest potential for organizational growth. Bottom line, you want to hire the right person who will help grow your organization. They need to have the keys to the kingdom when it comes to seeing how all money flows in and out. They need the ability to propose and set a budget and to execute on their strategies. Bonus tip: leverage volunteers. Use unpaid help to support your efforts in reaching out to people. Especially for organizations with slim staff and budgets, this can be an effective tool. Tap into your alumni pool and other partners or alliances you may have formed in the past. Volunteers can be especially useful when promoting events, selling tickets, or soliciting sponsorships. Engage with your board. Your board of trustees ultimately sets the direction and vision for your organization. As a result, we need to spend some significant time making sure everyone is aligned with what we are trying to accomplish with fundraising. The role of the board typically changes based on the size of the organization. Smaller organizations have board members that typically take a more operational and hands-on approach, while larger organizations may have board members more focused on governance issues. Regardless of the size of your nonprofit, it is critical to make sure everyone understands the importance of philanthropy and can agree on a high-level strategy for accomplishing the mission. Have an open conversation about what role board members can play in nonprofit fundraising. Beyond agreeing on strategies, this can be an extremely beneficial task in helping to grow and retain donors. For example, a simple thank you goes a long way. A fundraising study performed by Cygnus found that when donors got a thank you call from board members within days of making a gift, 93% said they would definitely or probably give again. 84% said they would make a larger gift. 74% said they would continue giving indefinitely. Find ways to engage donors. Use board members for this purpose. Their clout alone brings great respect to the people who donate to the organization. This should be used to your advantage. Just as important as engaging board members with donors is keeping donors engaged in the strategy. Present strategy proposals and work in their feedback. This ensures alignment and sense of purpose with board members. Keep everyone involved in the budget-setting process so they know a strategy goes beyond simple concepts and pipe dreams. The board needs to know that fundraising is staff-driven, and presenting a simple projection of anticipated costs and revenue with a strategy can go a long way in helping drive change. Most importantly, realize when you have good board members and do everything you can to keep them. Keep them motivated. Listen to what they say. Their contacts and knowledge go a long way toward helping drive your strategy. So realize what you have while you have it, and don't risk losing good board members to greener pastures. Measuring and communicating impact. After staff and board considerations, the next big item to prepare for is impact measurement. You need to be able to communicate your story with words and numbers. Nonprofit fundraising is much more than asking for donations. It includes everything before and after this step, from searching for supporters to expressing gratitude and measuring impact. Measuring impact helps you do two things. Evaluate fundraising campaign effectiveness. Demonstrate your program's effectiveness and help tell a story that will attract future funding. Your programs already exist to further your organization's mission, and for programs that do it well, there should be data that proves it. Make sure to have the systems in place to capture the results of your program's efforts. Note, systems don't need to be complicated. They can simply be processes used to document results of activities. Use your mission to determine a set of outcomes you wish to achieve. Then work backwards to determine the activities you can perform to get there. For more information, check out Whole Whale's Guide on Measuring Nonprofit Impact. Once you've set up your impact measurement processes, find ways to communicate your results on your website. This may come in the form of dashboards, case studies, personal stories, etc. Be sure to consistently update your content to not only keep things fresh, but communicate your continued success. If a donor visits your site and sees overwhelming evidence of the good things you're doing, he will be more likely to buy into your cause and believe that his donations are being well spent. How much do you spend on fundraising? Charity Watch analyzes the effectiveness of nonprofits across a wide range of statistics. One particularly interesting number is the cost to raise $100. Exactly how it sounds, this reflects how much it costs a charity to bring in $100 of public donations. On this basis, a nonprofit is considered highly efficient if it costs to raise $100 is $25 or less. Practically speaking, determine how much you want to raise with your nonprofit fundraising strategy, or even a specific campaign, Start with a 4-to-1 ratio to get the $25 mark, and go from there. If you want to raise $5 million, you would start your budget at $1,250,000. Adjust from there. Kickstart your donor development. Now the section that probably brought most of you here, actual donor development. You have your organization set up for success. You have a clear vision of what you want to accomplish. Your board is behind you, and you have the right staff to tackle the job. Now, how do you actually find funding? Prospecting and donor research. Many experts like to talk about a fundraising pyramid. A strong general fund of small donors supports a smaller core of mid-level gifts on top of which is a few major donors for your organization. You want to maximize each level of this pyramid and continuously work on moving people upward. The first step is to create a list of prospects. The most common prospecting strategies combine the following approaches: direct mail or email, brainstorming of prospects using board members and staff alike, prospect research, databases full of free or purchasable contact lists. Donors give for their own reasons, not yours. When assessing your current prospect pool and searching for more, evaluate the following characteristics of each prospect. Longevity. How long has this person been giving? Should they possibly move up the pyramid if they've been here a while? Cumulative giving. Are prospects donating in lump sums or giving multiple times per year? Look for the latter as good opportunities to move up the pyramid. Engagement. Look for people who are reading your newsletters, responding to your calls, reaching out about your organization. These are the types you want to move up the pyramid. Leverage customer relationship management (CRM) systems. When you begin a prospect gathering mission, it couldn't hurt to start by scrubbing your current database, whether it's paper files or an Excel workbook or an entire donor management system. It is good to get a clear idea of everyone you have previously had relationships to understand your likelihood of using these people as a base for your new strategy or as referrals to new candidates. Once you have a baseline of prospects, decide if you should leverage more advanced technology for your nonprofit fundraising efforts. The benefits of a formal CRM system are enormous for all types of organizations. With the proper system in place, your organization has the ability to record all communications with donors and prospects, track their personal characteristics, create easy email campaigns, find volunteers, and so on. Especially useful are these systems' abilities to report on progress during campaigns and analyze the demographics of donors and prospects. You can run reports that help determine which people in which locations to target for each specific kind of outreach. This helps when trying to nail down a specific donor outreach campaign. TechSoup has a breakdown of 8 top CRM systems for nonprofits as well. Perform a similar analysis to this when evaluating software for your organization. You have 2 major goals with donor development. Make sure current donors keep giving. Try to move donors up to mid-level and major gift level status. Some useful tips for maintaining and improving donor relationships range from simple thank you notes to community recognition to providing access to special information or services. Personal touch goes a long way in cultivating relationships with donors. Invite people individually to events or conference calls you may have. Point out donors who have given in a monthly newsletter. Everyone enjoys a little recognition, especially if they are intent on furthering their own missions of giving. More tactically, you can use donor surveys and other donor-directed communications to try to get a feel for how they perceive your organization to be doing. Gear your marketing collateral to them based on specific programs and results that you are achieving. While you're publishing data and other marketing collateral for wider consumption, try to focus specific pieces to donors only to let them see inside the progress you're really making as an organization. You can use a more friendly and informal tone when communicating with current donors to help aid in the relationship building process. Hold special events just for donors. Have a social where donors can meet one another and discuss their own missions and visions for what they want to achieve. Everybody appreciates being connected with more people who can help their cause. So use this avenue intelligently to help boost relationships among your community. Work the pyramid. Asking for more money is never easy, especially if you fear losing a relationship with a person who has given faithfully to your organization for many years. But you must overcome this fear and ask for more money. Why would someone consider giving you more money? First, they must believe in your mission. It must support something they find dear to them. So communicate your mission accurately and descriptively. Second, they must believe in your team and that you will use their money wisely. No, they don't expect a return on their investment, but with the thousands of nonprofits out there competing for their dollars, they have plenty of options to choose from when giving to a charity. Most importantly, donors increase their gifts when asked to. Unless you ask, they'll likely continue giving the standard amount, which is fine, but we're trying to build a fundraising strategy for growth. Key takeaway. You should aim as high as possible when placing prospects in your donor pyramid. The bigger you make the mid-level and high-level sections, the better off your organization will be. You can count on these larger donations on a more regular basis, which can be used as a springboard for future growth. Develop an impeccable marketing campaign. There are many different tools you can leverage and approaches you can take to boost your nonprofit fundraising strategy. Major types of communication. The basic types of marketing channels are generally known. You can communicate direct via email, phone, or personal visit. You can communicate to a broader scale with public speaking, newsletters, website content, advertising, etc. The main thing to know is what you're trying to accomplish with each type of communication. You're not going to get a major donation from sending out a newsletter. You might, but this type of communication is generally geared to higher volume, lower dollar amounts. You're typically going to want to use more mass communication methods for filling your pipeline and those earlier stage types of activities. More direct personal touch is required to close most deals, especially when more money is on the line. When to use each approach. A good approach uses a mix of all the techniques discussed above. There will be times you want to target individuals and times you'll want to target groups. Direct mail or email. This method can be used whether you're reaching out to an individual or your entire prospect list. Be sure to use mail over email if you plan to have a later in the process sales discussion with a prospect, as physical mail has a more personal touch. Use this technique when you want to connect directly with individuals. Be sure to use personal touch to make the recipient feel that this note has more value than the other things that end up in the trash. Also include a call to action. Conversion rates skyrocket simply by including an option to act on your message. Advertising. Use this technique when you want to reach out to more than just your immediate community. This can be through printed newspapers and periodicals, on the radio or through television, or other forms of media. Make sure you know the expected return on investment before planning any fundraising dollars to this method. But realize it can pay off, especially if you want to educate the masses or get your brand and mission out there. Internet marketing. A much cheaper form of marketing your brand, the use of social media platforms and other online communities allows you to connect with the largest number of potential donors for the lowest overall cost. Besides simply promoting your content or brand, you can include calls to action like Donate Now on a nonprofit Facebook page. The internet was made to reach people quickly and cheaply. Use it to your advantage. Special promotions. Host an event that brings together different people in your community and use the platform to raise funds. Everyone likes to be connected to like-minded individuals. By creating somewhat regular events that accomplish this, you can provide spikes in your donation intake at certain times of the year. An annual appeal may work here. Market the opportunity as an annual or monthly gathering and give people a reason to attend. The key here is to make sure you don't overdo it. Don't host too many events, or the idea of a special promotion loses its luster. Why would a donor attend your annual appeal if you actually had weekly appeals? Public relations. When you host an event or produce a new piece of useful content, create a press release to announce it to your community. Like advertising, this has the opportunity of reaching a large number of people. Just keep in mind that you will get more press coverage in an area if you can show that your news directly impacts the community. Additional methods for nonprofit fundraising success. Of note are co-branding and affinity marketing. Up to 6% of all product launches rely on some form of co-branding. Get your name attached to others who support similar causes. You shouldn't see other organizations as merely competitors, but rather as potential complements to your strategy. Work with partners to build a whole that's greater than the sum of the parts. Unlock hidden potential by partnering with the right affiliates to help extend your reach beyond your immediate community. What about crowdfunding? In a society that continues to be more interested in social impact, this is a potentially huge area to raise funds. Think of Kickstarter. Anyone can promote any cause and collect money from anyone around the world. All they need to do is connect to an investor's sense of purpose. Be aware there are fees attached. If using a public platform, understand the costs associated. Take the time to compare different platforms and factor in the cost to raise money with any effort placed on a platform. Also be aware of nonprofit fundraising laws. With the internet, it is much easier to raise money from people in multiple states, even if you operate in just one. Many states require nonprofits to register in order to conduct fundraising within their jurisdiction. This may apply to more states than intended if you plan to raise funds online. The National Association of State Charity Officials published a guide for social media and internet solicitation. That being said, there are definitely opportunities to use crowdfunding to your advantage. Craft the right story. There are many ways to get a person to be interested in your organization. Most include connecting with their individual sense of purpose. You need them to feel the pain you're trying to solve. You might think you don't have all the right details for a truly compelling story, but you're wrong. Beth Cantor outlines 4 classic storylines that work well when soliciting donors. Overcoming the monster. Talk about some form of adversity your organization is tackling. Are 99% of kids in your region on subsidized school lunch programs? Okay, tell that story. Rags to riches. Use your actual clients or service recipients as a catalyst. Explain the poor circumstances that led to them using your organization and the 180-degree turnaround you helped them achieve. Don't be afraid to get detailed in describing the low point. Quest. Everyone loves a good quest story. We are on a quest to a completely carbon-neutral society. Where do we stand on that long journey? What are you doing about it? Tragedy. Some events have the ability to appeal to the masses. Think of the recent devastating earthquakes across southern U.S. and Puerto Rico. Tell that story. Make people feel compelled to do something for all those suffering. Leverage grants and other funding opportunities. While donors may make up a good core of your fundraising strategy, there are often overlooked free dollars out there that you may qualify for without realizing. It is important to understand where these areas of opportunity are and to always incorporate grants and other free money into your fundraising plans. Master grant research. There are growing numbers of online sources that can be used for free or at reasonable costs to help in your prospect search. Download the free premium edition of this guide to see a list of the top sources and some of their details and how best to use each one. Write a killer proposal. Finding the right grant for your organization is only half the battle. How do you now secure the funding? If you've never written a grant proposal before, check out GrantSpace's free introductory grant writing class. It can be done online or in person and should help provide a baseline for writing a good proposal. GrantSpace also includes a repository of sample documents. This ranges from proposals to letters of inquiry, to cover letters, to budgets. Key things to consider. Do your homework. If you find a grant and it has a request for proposals, RFP, then it should have all the guidelines for you to consider. Read the document carefully. Understand any deadlines. If there is a letter of intent due before the application, the ceiling amount for funding, etc. Then go to the funder's website and see what other types of organizations are typically funded. Visit their websites and see the kinds of programs they offer. Does your organization seem to fit this mold? Write your proposal keeping in mind what types of programs worked in the past for this funder. Start planning. If you agree your organization is a good fit for the grant, meet with your team and start outlining what needs to be done. If a letter of intent, LOI, is required, use it to your advantage. This is your 1 or 2 page pitch to the funder to show why you're a great fit for them. If the funder likes you, they will ask you to submit a full proposal. This is potentially a huge time saver, if in fact you are not a realistic recipient for this grant. Reach out to the funder's program officer. They're generally very friendly people, and a simple conversation can go a long way. Either you briefly discuss your idea and it's not a fit, and you've saved yourself the time and effort putting together a full proposal. Or you're a great fit, and you hit it off with the funder, and you've started a great relationship together, essentially completing the first stage of the application process. This could lead to many years of future funding. Don't overlook this useful step. Try to build a relationship with the funder before you formally applied for funding. When you finally start your proposal, you should have all the information you need to be confident that you will win the award. It should be 5 to 15 pages long and cover things such as a summary of your program, background and needs, goals, evaluation process, budget, timeline, and any partnerships you are planning to leverage. Remember to answer every part of every question. RFPs can be very long and tedious, but any excuse to dismiss an applicant is usually enough to throw the proposal in the trash. Don't risk this. Don't worry about fluffy language. Get straight to the point. Feel free to leverage content from previous proposals, as often the same questions are asked in RFPs. Submit your proposal and be confident you will win. If not, you move on. There are plenty of other grant opportunities out there. See the previous section. The grant writing process. If you've been following all the steps outlined in this guide, the actual grant writing process will be the least stressful part. You've already got the foundation for sustained excellence ingrained in your organization. Now, just wrap the bow around your mission and earn the grant dollars that you know you deserve. Easy fundraising ideas. Create excitement for success. Easy fundraising ideas to build excitement about your fundraiser. What are some of the best tips we've heard to make your easy fundraising ideas really pop? We hear and read about so many fundraisers every day. Some terrific ideas and some not so great. How can your group make your fundraiser your best ever? One of the main factors we have noticed that separates the well-executed fundraiser from the flop is the buzz built when you fundraise. The excitement and buzz that you create, both within your group and your community about your group's fundraiser, will take even the most simple fundraising ideas to the next level. We are always interested in dissecting why some groups aren't as successful with their fundraisers. It always comes down to one fundamental reason: the group didn't do it. If a group isn't raising funds using easy fundraising ideas like Spinner's fundraiser, raffles, discount cards, candle sales, carnivals, scratch card fundraising, and others, it is most likely because the group didn't put forth their best effort and didn't create buzz around the fundraiser. If the group leader isn't jazzed about it, the members of the group won't be excited about what you are doing, and this drives members to not do the fundraiser. If people don't participate in the fundraiser, your group doesn't raise funds, and all of the easy fundraising ideas in the world can't save it. How can you generate buzz and build enthusiasm about your fundraiser so that your group is among those that succeeds? 1. Make sure your group members and your community know why you are fundraising. This may seem obvious, but groups sometimes neglect to do this. 2. Promote and hype your fundraiser. Even the easiest fundraisers won't be successful if you don't do them. Write short press releases for your local newspaper. They are always on the lookout for stories. Create flyers to post or hand out depending on the type of fundraiser you are running. Draft emails that your members can send out to their friends and family to get them enthused about your fundraiser. Publicize as if it's a can't-miss event. Use Facebook and Twitter and other social marketing venues to share what you are doing. Let people know who, what, when, where, why, and most importantly, how they can get involved to help donate to your group. 3. Keep your members motivated and feeling responsible for bringing in contributions. Have your members commit to selling a given amount of product or raising a designated amount. Keep them jazzed as a group by following progress. A terrific way to do this is with free fundraising thermometer. You can set up a simple Facebook page for your fundraiser so members can see how close you are to your goal. A friendly contest with a prize for the top earner is another idea to inspire competition and better results. Follow up with your group members during the fundraiser and encourage them to continue to get donations. Conclusion. Fundraising events inject life to charity, so use your imagination. Be creative and different. Stand out from the crowd and turn heads with your fundraising event. And as long as you remember to stay organized and to have fun, success should be at your fingertips. When you have successfully completed your fundraiser, make sure to thank your donors promptly for their involvement. Make them feel like part of something great for supporting your group. Thank you notes, thank you calls, and baked goods are all fun and easy ways to show your donors that you appreciate them sharing the excitement of your fundraiser and their dollars with your group. In an ever-changing technological and financial landscape, it is sometimes hard to dedicate the time and effort to staying on top of what works and what doesn't in this space. Use the tools outlined in this guide to help your organization maximize its fundraising potential. Share your successes and lessons learned with us, as we would love to incorporate them into updated material for others to use. Nonprofit fundraising doesn't have to be difficult, and hopefully this guide provides a good basis for crafting your strategy and executing on it for years to come.